body and she could care less what others have to say about her because she is her own definition of beautiful. Serena is big in bulk. She has curves and her curves are purely natural. And as an athlete, she is vigorously training just to strengthen and tone herself up. Serena is always called out for looking like a man, but the thing with Serena is that she could care less about anyone's opinions because her body is her choice, and if she wants to bulk up, then of course she can bulk up.
Yeah, true. I mean, I agree with that. It's like, yes, she has just as much money as, you know, other celebrities and all that, but yet she couldn't care less about how she looks, which is a good thing, which is a good influence for young people. So, you know, just because you have money doesn't mean you're going to go fix this and that. It's like saying, okay, you're not good enough, so you have to impress like those, like your fans or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and she's all natural. And another is, I'm sure everyone knows Zendaya, right?
Yeah.
This is Zendaya. Yeah. She's of Disney.
Yeah, but does anyone watch The Fashion Police and know Juliana? Okay, well, she recently called her out for saying that when Zendaya, she's African American, right? And she like walked on the red carpet with dreadlocks. Yeah, and Juliana made a comment that she smells like weed just because she stereotyped that most African Americans smell like weed. And as the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 states that everyone has a right to a nationality, and she was basically just embracing her cultural identity.
Yeah, and another good thing about this one is that at a young age, she actually like stood up for what's right for her, and not only her, but for her culture as well. And like another person that I feel that's a positive role model is Emma Watson. At age 24, she became an ambassador for the United Nations for Women, where she fought for the rights of, you know, female. And yeah, so where the Human Declaration, which is that first article, how it says all human beings are born and have equal rights, or dignity and rights. And it's sad that still today that there's no culture, country that has that right, where both women and men have the same rights. And I guess, you know, for her being young, like she's like, you know, showing good message for like, oh, you don't, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you don't get yourself involved with like what's happening in real life kind of thing. And yeah, another person is Angelina Jolie. Sorry, our slides are the other way around. So can I just get the slide? Is Angelina Jolie. She's an ambassador for the United Nations for the Refugee Agency, where she involves herself with, you know, that countries like Syria. How she provides like essential needs and also interact with people, and also like how she adopted like multicultural, multicultural children. And yeah. Oh, sorry, and another positive role model is John Campbell that I feel that to us New Zealanders is that how he doesn't sugarcoat like any stories, even though he feels that's going to go against people. For example, Samoa, I know, but like how in 2011 how we had Samoa had a tsunami and how New Zealand gave money to Samoa, and then like people from Samoa were complaining because like they don't know where that money went to. So then when John Campbell went to Samoa, and because the government like agreed to have a talk with John Campbell, have an interview like what went wrong, like where the money went, yeah, the government he fled the scene. I think he didn't like take the interview kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like he's another good influence to our society, even to young kids as well.
From like the examples that these guys have just like talked to you guys about, I think it's pretty obvious that celebrities are increasingly like dictating our everyday lives. From the clothes we wear to the technology we use, how we interact with one another, and the trends that we follow, the cycle is never ending. According to a study by Mel in 2009, these days there are more celebrity-oriented magazines than there are of real news magazines in the United States. Furthermore, Mel goes to quote Andy Warhol, who is a famous artist and researcher of celebrity culture, and stated that in the future everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. All it takes is one headline. These quotes are important to understanding American culture in the sense that the public are almost being suffocated by images and videos of people who they perceive as being cooler than them, as having better lives than them. The heavy focus Americans place on these celebrities encourage young people to fall into the trap of consumerism, to buy all denim because it's what the Kardashians are wearing, or shave half their heads because their favourite pop icons are using. I'm using the example of a trend that came about in 2010 where celebrities shaved one side of their heads as a sort of cool or trendy type of hairstyle. Some of the biggest celebrities such as Miley Cyrus, Ellie Goulding, Rihanna, Cassie and Cher Lloyd dominated the music industry, making it nearly impossible for the younger generation to sort of escape them. And so they were basically setting the trends that they were sort of following. This is in contrast with New Zealand and the Māori in particular, and the concept of tapu. In the earlier days of colonization, traditionally a person's head was considered to be the most tapu or sacred part of a person's body. In particular, a person's hair symbolized things such as their status, whether they were in mourning, and whether or not a person was tapu. For Māori, shaving one part of their hair, or a very similar type of hairstyle, symbolized that a person was either in mourning, or in the case of high status prisoners, shaving their hair was a show that their mana or status was destroyed. This is in conjunction with the trend of clothing. Over the years, we have seen a shift in the types of clothing that young people are wearing that was set by the trends and beliefs of culture and society. In America, women's clothing in particular have become both more casual and provocative. Jeans became an everyday item of clothing. In the 80s, workout clothes and tight-fitting clothes became the trend. In the 90s, saw holes in jeans and tight crop tops, together with lingerie and undergarments from brands such as Victoria's Secret. Looking at the clothing styles of Māori, whilst they have adopted a new style of clothing to more casual after the colonisation of New Zealand, they are still regarded as adopting a style that is somewhat reserved, different from the sort of trends that these celebrities were setting.
Just with these guys, so overall the influences celebrities have on us, like they said, fashion, trend, body image. So celebrities also have an influence within our youth's behaviour. So just like I said before, cutting for Justin Bieber. So there were girls out there cutting for him so that he could stop smoking and girls shaving their hair so that Zayn Malik should go back to One Direction. It's just these influences that youth do have, celebrities do have.
Like making a psychological impact on people.
On their life and stuff. But yeah, so our solutions were like...
We came up with a few solutions for all the type of things that we sort of covered with you guys just before. So I guess in the case of mine, where I had the trends that celebrities were setting, I think that both celebrities and individuals need to be more aware of like the different social values in society. Like what's acceptable to one culture can be completely different in another culture.
I think that also goes for parents. I think parents need to educate their children more and their morals and their beliefs and have limits to what their children can do and how they dress. And I think personally, things like unfollowing the Kardashians on like Instagram and Snapchat, I think would make a big difference. If one person does it, your friend does it, their friend does it, makes a big difference. Yeah.
Well, for me, as a positive role, we should like not get caught up in someone else's definition of beauty. We are too obsessed with what is a perfect nose, what is a perfect hair. But there is more things beautiful to life than negative trends.
And me is, just be like, for example, like how I said with Emma Watson, we just need more people like her, even though they're young and stuff, it doesn't mean, age will stop you from, doing stuff like her, being an ambassador, like, that's a big thing at a young age too. So.
But actually not into drugs and partying like the rest of the
Being a celebrity doesn't really make you any better than anybody else, so it's good to have celebrities that are kind of like more down to earth and looking out for the little people or the commoners kind of thing. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.